Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Marty's Minute Meditations. If you enjoy Marty's Minute Meditations, please visit Marty's Patreon page at patreon.com/Marty's Minute Meditations. That's patreon.com/MartyMenitations. Or you could just click the link in the description. That would also be a possibility. It would be a lot easier than writing all that out and then spelling it out and typing it out. And you could just click a button, really, and visit my Patreon page. I think that's important to point out. You know, become a martyr for manhood. Help Marty to help men, right? Also, I just want to say that some people are going, Marty, why did you spell all that out? Why'd you spell all that out? You could have just told us from the beginning to click the link. Well, why would I pass up a chance to spell? We don't spell as adults. You know, when kids always spell things, because they're learning, because they're playing with letters and sounds, and they're spelling things out, and it's really fun. Well, what about adults? Why don't we do that? Why don't we take the time to play with language anymore, So I took that moment just as a lesson. I'm just full of lessons, okay? As a lesson to remember to just take moments to play, right? So welcome to the show. New listeners, thanks for hopping on board. We love to talk about, the spiritual, the sacred masculinity, talking about manhood these days. If you're an old listener, welcome back. The space is welcoming you back. It's warm for you. Your seat, we kept your seat warm. Take a seat. Take a seat. Would you like any beverages? Would you like a snack? Also for the new people, if you'd like a snack or a beverage, certainly. But this is your new seat right here, okay? So sit down. Or you could stand. You could also stand. You could also lie down. I'm not trying to direct your meditation. I'm just trying to open the door, okay? So with that being said, let's begin. Are you feeling scared? Anxious? Do you feel isolated? Well, Marty's here to tell you that it's okay. That's okay. It's okay to feel that way. How could we not feel that way in a time like this? Times of uncertainty, right? And crisis, right? And you might even say that, Marty understands. Marty gets it. One would even say that Marty feels more than most people. I'm a very highly sensitive individual, and I've been told that by many professionals. So, I feel things more than most people. I probably feel this anxiety and this fear more than you do. And not only that, but I feel you feeling it. I have this heightened sensitivity where I even feel around me how people feel. And I go, ooh, they feel anxious. Ooh, they feel scared. Ooh, I feel it too. Ooh, it's like I'm like a sponge. I soak up all that energy. I soak up all that feeling, And I need some big hand to just wring me out. But Marty doesn't get a big hand. I get to be your big hand. To squeeze you out. To squeeze all that anxiety and fear out of you. But I'm also a sponge. So my big hand is a sponge that squeezes out of you, but sucks into me. But I accept that sensitivity. It's what my higher self wanted me to do. To take this journey, right? To do this thing for you folks. To really help people. Yeah, just take that in. Take that in. So it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel these feelings. It's tough. right? And it's the product of this social distancing, staying away from people, because we feed off of each other's energies, right? Like, it's not like me and you just have a conversation, but our energies have a conversation. They need to be in contact to really get it. It's like we communicate in the outside world like people when they make love. They're just feeling around and they're trying to get it, right? That's what our energies are doing all the time when they encounter each other. So if I encounter your energy at one point in a store or whatever, we're making love. We're making energy love, right? And then I get you and you get me, and then we could actually have a conversation. Before the conversation happens, the energies have to open up. They have to open up. They have to open up. And the problem with this distancing from each other is that it doesn't create soulful distancing. That's what I want to talk about today. Creating soulful distancing. Now, I know you're like, Marty, what is soulful distancing? What do you mean? What does that mean? It's not the phrase. I know. I'm using some kind of creative means to create a different message with it, right? To use a different turn of phrase, right? You turn the phrase a different way. It's like a boat. You're driving the boat and you turn it the other way and you go, no, we're going to Cuba instead, right? And everybody goes, oh my gosh, we're going to Cuba. It's a beautiful summer day. It's a beautiful summer day for Cuba. And you turn the boat around. That's what I'm doing with the phrase, okay? I'm turning it in a different direction, towards a different hope, towards the sun, okay? That's what Marty likes to do. He likes to take words and turn the boat with it. So what is soulful distancing? Maybe it'll become clearer if I explain what soulless distancing is. Maybe you've been online recently, you're stuck at home, so you don't really have much to do, right? And, even when you go out throughout the day, maybe you're working on you're making a lot of bread, or you're trying to make meals for the week. Maybe you're looking at your garden and your garden and seeing what you can do with your garden, right? But even then, there's a limit. Sometimes you realize that our lives, even in this modern time, even with a crisis, things are so easy. Things are easy. Things are fast, right? And so you go throughout your day, and then you realize, wow, I'm just sitting doing nothing. I'm doing nothing. And so you take out your phone, or you take out your laptop, or you take out your tablet, and you go online. Maybe you go on the Facebooks, or the Twitters, or the Instagrams. So maybe you're on there, and then you stumble upon, an old friend, right? And they post something. They post something because they're going through the same thing. They're going throughout their day, and they just have downtime. They go right immediately to their phone and their laptop, and you know how I feel about that. So, and if you don't, please listen to my episode entitled Blue Light, where I talk about technology and depression. Okay, it's very important to listen to that. So you immediately go to your phone, you immediately go to your laptop or your tablet, whatever you can. And you find this message from an old friend that says something. I don't know. It's something offensive to you. Maybe it's something like they bring up some form of yoga that you really enjoy and that you've really taken with and really turned your life around. Maybe some kind of, yoga that's not very popular or it's easy to criticize, but you're a real fan of it. You base your life off of it, and they're just saying horrible things about it. They're just lots of expletives and bad words, and they're creating this kind of that's what soulless distancing is, right? Immediately there. But then Marty, you maybe you don't help, right? Maybe you don't help with it. So then you post something and you make a comment, right? That says, well, I don't think that's true. Maybe you should, check your facts. And, maybe because you're in the heat of the moment, you place bad words and expletives in it as well, right? And then you've created this soulless distancing as well. We're not listening to each other. Because then, maybe he sends something back that makes a comment about your past, right? Maybe you stole his girlfriend or something like that. Maybe that happened. Or he stole your girlfriend, so you're just reclaiming your ex-girlfriend. Maybe that's what happened. So then you're going back and forth on the internet, and then it just turns into they're no longer your old friend. Now they're your new enemy, right? Maybe that's how that happens. That's what happens when you give cavemen technology. So you fall into that possibility. And what a silly possibility. That's soulless distancing. I think we all understand that at this point. Maybe you're going through your feed and you see something that really, that I don't like that. I don't like that. That's soulless distancing to me, right? And you get caught in that place of, I don't, and then you feel stuck in your cave. And so you take your theoretical technological bat, right? Your big old club, and then you take a swipe, right? And then you're just swiping technologically back and forth with a club, and you're not being friends anymore. In fact, you're not even listening to each other anymore. And isn't that what's important? Is listening. Like how Scott didn't listen when I told him to stop saying those things about yoga and posting it out there and then attaching my name to all these things that happened. And he wasn't listening. And so then I had to say some things that I didn't feel good about, right? Because I wasn't listening to him. So now you're going, Marty, that's all well and good for you. But how do we, as people, start to listen and create this soulful distancing now? It's a really good question. It's a difficult one to address because these are new times, unprecedented times. But I think the most important thing is to remember that whenever you see something that frustrates you, just remember that that's coming out of somebody else's frustration. If you allow that frustration to get into you, it is like its own little virus, right? So, I try to use this as an analogy. I've used it in a past episode, and people have gotten very upset about it. But I want to stick to it because I think it's important to create that kind of imagery and that kind of information, that kind of world for you folks, right? We not only deal with the physical virus we deal with the emotional and spiritual virus. We have to deal with that and understand that and protect ourselves against those things. You build your body and your immunity so that you don't get sick, or so that if you do get sick, you could fight it. But what happens when it's a virus trying to infiltrate the soul? Does your soul have an immunity? Do smoothies or yoga or supplements really help to make your soul strong? Think about that. Really take a moment. Take a moment to think about that. Think about that, Scott. Okay? Think about it for a moment. If you're listening. To understand that listening is its own immunity to fear, anxiety, and frustration. Maybe a little deep breathing, Maybe if you tried some of that yoga that you were so easy to criticize, maybe you would understand where some people are coming from, right? And I think that's the first step to really solving that problem. Is really taking the time to just read the thing, take a breath, and go, that's interesting. That's interesting. Maybe, right? And taking a breath and realizing that we're all in the same situation right now. We're all frustrated. We're all scared. So people are going to say some weird things. And so I don't want to talk too much about this, right? There's some episodes where I can really delve into it, but I think, what's really important is to get into this practice. So I want to approach this meditation today because I think that's the more practical thing to do. Okay, so we're going to practice this soulful distancing. We're really going to try this out. We're really going to dive in and see what we can do here, okay? Let's take a breath in. Take a breath out. Another breath in. And out. close your eyes, as long as you're not driving or operating heavy machinery, which I'm sure a lot of you right now aren't, but just in case. Always just in case. Once again, breathe in and breathe out. And remember, in order to create this soulful distancing, we have to make our soul full, right? It's not a pun. We literally need to make our soul full, right? So I want you to imagine if there was a moment in the past couple of weeks where you read something online that made you really angry. It frustrated you. And maybe it was from a friend, an acquaintance, or somebody you don't really know, right? So imagine in this moment that they're there right in front of you. You see their face, right? Imagine that, like I'm doing now. Doing that now. I'm imagining somebody in front of me, right? I won't get too into detail about it, but I want you to look at them, right? And see their face. See their stupid, annoying face in front of you. Just look in their eyes. And then just imagine that they're saying that thing to you that they posted, right? You hear it coming from their voice. Their annoying, high-pitched, just frustrating voice, right? They're right there. And they're saying this thing that's frustrating you, right? And maybe you want to slap them. Maybe you want to slap them. Maybe you just want to hit them, right? But breathe. Take that breath in. Remember, fill the soul with air. Fill your soul with air and energy and positivity, right? They don't know. They're just saying because they're frustrated too, right? They're just saying that thing because they're frustrated. Maybe they say a couple more things. And you just go, I understand. I understand. Just take this moment to fill your soul and say, I understand, right? Maybe they keep saying these things. They're still in front of you. They're saying, they're building on these things, and they keep saying, well, maybe, this or that, right? Maybe it's stupid because of this, or it's stupid because of that. So then you take this moment to look in their eyes, and then you come up with a response. Like maybe you start to lose control, and you say, well, maybe if you weren't so stupid, and if you actually took the time to actually research and understand this thing, then maybe you wouldn't be saying something so unbelievably ignorant and stupid, right? Scott, maybe that's the thing. Maybe you aren't taking time to actually take the things in that you're saying. And maybe you're not taking the time to actually open your vision and your learning and your understanding to other areas of the world. And maybe you're focusing on this one thing without any kind of facts. Breathe in and breathe out. Is that soulful distancing? No, that's the soulless distancing. So fill yourself with this air, this positivity when they're saying all these things. And maybe you think those things. Maybe you think those things to say back, but you don't say them. You don't say them because we need to be warriors of our souls. Maybe you feel like you're better than that person, but maybe you're not better than that person if you're not practicing soulful distancing. You ever think about that? Everybody's better than everybody else these days, right? The right's smarter than the left's smarter than the right? I'm smarter than you, you're smarter than me. Well, then why are we acting like it? Is your behavior showing that you are creating soulful distancing? Remembering to think about, well, if I think I'm better than them, am I really? Am I really behaving in a way that shows that I'm better than them? When they say those things, maybe you should go, you know what? I am better than them. And I'm more soulful than them. And they're soulless. They are soulless. I'm gonna put so much soul into this distancing that they're gonna realize that I'm more soulful than they are. Right? I'm better than them at this. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to take in this positive energy. I'm just going to give so much more positive energy than they're ever going to give because they're soulless and I'm better. So take that moment to be like that, to fill your soul and be better than that person in that moment because they don't know what they're talking about and you know you do. But you may not say it, but you take the moment to go, yeah, I know what I'm saying. But you're so soulful that you don't say it, right? Because you're not like Scott. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in again. Breathe out. Imagining that person is still there. Look in their eyes. Remembering that person is just that. Another person. Another human just like you. With flaws and crazy ideas. And hopes and dreams and fears. Remembering that. Right? Scott's just another person. Another person in this world just trying to make it. Godspeed, Scott. Godspeed. Thank you for listening to another episode of Marty's Minute Meditations. To close this episode, I just want to say, remember in this moment in our world where our souls are forced to be separated, we need to focus on making them fuller, bigger, to stretch out our souls so that like extended hands they can clasp. Because in this new world, we have to remember we can only achieve greatness if our souls are united. Breathe in and breathe out. If you enjoyed this meditation, please visit Marty's Patreon page at patreon.com/Marty's Minute Meditations. And be sure to check out Marty's YouTube channel. He's got some nice video stuff coming out. He just wants to get out there and just connect to you folks as much as possible. So for you listeners, old and new, I hope you stop by again. Because Marty will be here, waiting, ready to meditate.